Good morning, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving. I do not own rights to the music that's in the background. Like I said before, I don't even know if you have to say that anymore. I mean, seriously. Let's put it on volume 9, 333. Happy Thanksgiving. It is so great to wake up in sunny paradise, which was not a cloud in the sky. And the temperature here is 73 degrees. It's beautiful out. I guess it's not going to be real hot today. It's going to be a high of 75. What a beautiful Thanksgiving in paradise. And my first of many. So excited. So I decided I'm behind on a devotion. Yesterday got away from me because I was expecting something that I've been waiting on since August that arrived, but it just wasn't working out. Too many hiccups with the whole gig. So Friday is when it's going to happen. That's what it looks like anyway right now. So stay tuned. There'll be the finale, grand finale, will be uploaded later of the unveiling of this crazy bird that I have. I have no idea. It's the darndest thing that I've ever seen in my life. This turkey was in mint condition when I brought it home. But all of a sudden, when I go to get it from the freezer, there's a whole section of it that looks like it was branded in a circle with like rings in it. I don't get it. So it like stands like it's sitting up, like it is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And the backside looked like a butt. Can't look at my previous video. It is so freaking, I have never laughed so hard in my life than I did last night. So I decided to do something different with my turkey, really different. And a very close friend of mine that I met at the market. By Jason's suggestion, I will give him full credit here, to put on Portier's famous creamy Dijon marinade and dressing. I know it says dressing and marinade on the bottle, but today it's marinade first. So anyway, and then wrap it in bacon and then top it with honey from my friend Carol from up in Michigan. That she farms it, and she lost her fifth 5 last year, so I'm not sure. I haven't spoke to her. Ironically, I've been manifesting her. I've been thinking about her, because especially using her honey last night to glaze the turkey with the bacon that was already crisping up on top, because I thought I was going to have to use the broiler, but I'm not sure I'm going to need to do that. We'll see. I'm letting it rest now, but I might do that right before I serve it. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but it's kind of like I'm just trying something new with my turkey this year. Why not? We've got to lose. And it looks amazing already. But I assure you it will be a humus in my presentation. What's going around in my crazy brain, the things that it keeps coming up with is unreal. And I'm forever grateful to him for this. It's all about him. All about him. So anyway, it's funny. I'm so in sync with my body. I was outside with the girls, and of course, Harley had to see her boyfriend, Tanner, this morning. And the neighbor said, "Do you know that you're swaying?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm in sync with myself. I'm in sync with my life." And it's getting, since I've been sleeping on a grounding mat, it's totally been, the benefits of it is bar none. I mean, my energy level has skyrocketed from being down completely horizontal all last week. I can't even explain it. So when I get in bed, I don't want to go to sleep. I'm so excited, I don't want to miss anything. But luckily, the grounding mat starts bringing me back down to earth, literally, and gets me calm enough that I sleep, and I sleep all night. I literally woke up at almost 8 o'clock this morning. Now, I will preface that with, I was up quite late last night, till I think 3 o'clock. So, because I was sleeping, I kept falling asleep out here at the sofa because I wanted to keep an eye on the bird because I didn't want it to get burnt, because I can't hear my timer in my bedroom because this is concrete. I mean, it's built like a castle. It's all concrete. So I couldn't hear it if I was sleeping, because I don't hear anything when I sleep these days. I am so peaceful when I sleep, which was something that was unheard of. And anybody in my life has known that I've always had issues with sleeping. So anyway, I'm working on my grandmother's cranberry salad. It's got, you grind 1.5 pounds of cranberries, and then you put 1.5 cups of sugar in with the cranberries, mix it, and let it sit overnight. So I've already done that. Make sure that you rinse the cranberries and you sift through them. You pick all the bad ones out. So I need my grandmother's recipe, who pretty much raised me, called for a 1/2 cup of chopped celery and a 1/2 cup of nuts. Well, Natalie has doubled that because I think it needs more. Zippity-doo-dah. Go figure. So I'm using my, Janice, you'll love this, my Pampered Chef handy chopper. I believe that's what it's called. If it isn't, oh well, sue me. No, I'm seriously, don't sue me. But yeah, it is a great stress reliever. I'm going to tell you that right now. So I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of it at a time. That way, because that's all it'll fit, for starters. So, see how it's a stress reliever? I don't need a crank one. I like this one. This is good for you, get your stress out. So here's one. And that one I always do where it's a little more chopped up, but this next one will be a little chunkier. That's why I do a full cup. And I do the same thing with my, well, no, I don't do that with the celery. Take that back. Momentary amnesia. But it's truly amazing how well this thing does. Okay, so let's set that aside. A spoon. I love using bamboo spoons. I'm going to mix that in my cranberry salad. Oh, you can't really see this, can you? Oh, wait. I need it on a pedestal or I cut my head off. I don't know how I do this. I can't turn my laptop, can I? Never thought about that. Let's do it like a book. Yes, I can. Well, that'll be a first. There you saw it. Right here on my video that I at 3:39. Okay, that works better, right? So you can see me a little better. Go figure. It's kind of cool standing like that too, but oops, I'm making a mess. I never was one to not make a mess. I'm such a germaphobe, so my britches are falling down. They're size 6s, and if I wear them at my waist, there's like a humongous, like 2 or 3 inch gap, so they're clear on my hips, but if I have to go to the bathroom, I don't have to unbutton them, so give it to me. I'm like, what the heck? Okay, so we need, okay, so I've got celery here. And of course I need a cup of that as well. I already have some in here that I had rinsed before for another project, so. And you don't have waste here in Florida because you feed everything, all your scraps to the fish. So it's really cool. I got this nice little bucket here, little trash can thing that I put all my scraps in. And then I feed it to the fish. Because once it hits the water, it's completely purified because it's salt water. So I need And I've decided that in cooking, why does everything have to be uniform? It's all about creativity. So why has it got to be perfect? And who is Chef Ramsay to tell me that my onions all have to be cut exactly the same square and the same everything? Who gives a crap? As if anybody is going to look at that when you serve it on a platter that they're all different, all they're freaking the same. There are some people creative that way. I know several people that totally can do that. It's unbelievable to me that they can. But guess my music stopped. Kind of odd. Yesterday, I always like to taste the celery because sometimes celery is just not good. I mean, this is organic because that's all I use. Here I go, flipping it out of the bowl again. Alright, done. So, and my grandmother always taught me for presentations to wipe down. So you'll see that in a little bit once I do the double boiler, but I'm going to get my dressing ready for starters. Okay, so let me put that back in the fridge for now and let it rest while I start working on my dressing. Oh no, whoops. I got another half cup celery. That's what happens with me in the morning. I have issues with my brain in the morning. And I rinse everything in purified water. I'll usually do it when I bring it home, but I didn't with the celery. At least I didn't rinse it off. And then whatever I have left of the water then, after I've rinsed my vegetables, I water my plants with it because, of course, they have more nutrients in it. So, why not, right? And I use the celery seeds, or the celery leaves. I'll use that in my dressing. And one more celery. Looks like I'll have to pause this a little later to go to the market and get celery unless I can get, Jason gets up and he can run there for me because it's only right around the corner from the house. It's so nice, and they're open till 1:30 today. So they were crazy busy last night filling their pie orders, and their pies looked really good. So I might have to try one. I love it when you cut something and it sticks to your knife, and all you have to do is like this, and then you just have to swipe it into the bowl. That is like the bomb for me. It's like it's got the right enough of moisture to make it stick. It's pretty cool. So there's the other half a cut. Oh, my spoon's right here. It's kind of interesting too because the celery isn't real green, but it tastes good, so that's good. And it's Josie's Organics, so it's pretty cool. The little gal on the front, I'm guessing that's Josie. Thinking, you know, why else would the picture be on the front unless it's a daughter or something, maybe. So I always did this because I just felt like it was getting everything coated evenly, if that's possible, once I mixed it up real well. So get this covered, get it out of the way. I love this press and seal, but I also like the beeswax things. They're amazing. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears. And I'm going to saute vegetables for the dressing. And I get my sourdough bread from the market. So I'm going to use that for my stuffing today. And I get these falafels that they make, which is made out of chickpeas. So I'm going to add that as the spices. I'm going to taste it before I add the eggs. Hopefully I remember to do that to see if it tastes good. I guess I've got enough celery to get through. Let's cut that off and go plant it because here is the time of gardening. It's crazy I keep saying Happy Easter to people because that's the kind of weather we're having. It's like Easter out. I mean, it's in the 70s. We had a ton of rain. So I'm like so confused, and the banker, my new banker lady, she was the same way. She's like, I said Happy Easter the other day too. I said, oh Lord, I must be rubbing off on you. But anyway, so today, you know, it's now gardening time. So every time I chop off an end, I go downstairs in my garden, which is really cool. My friend, oh my gosh, her name is, anyway, she was telling me about these raised gardens with the castle blocks from Home Depot, and I love them. It's the coolest thing in the world. So anyway, so I've got it ready down there, and I've got a huge onion section that's already flourishing. So I'll probably go down there and snip some green onions so I can put those in my dressing as well. But I go down there and just drop them in, and that's how I start my garden. That's how I've started this garden. So I've got a green onion left over from yesterday that I have not planted yet, so I still need to do that. Which I'm not quite sure where to put that, but it's okay. And this onion, this maybe seems better days. So let me get a pan out. And of course I'm sauteing them in coconut oil. There is just something about it, and I'm using Carrington Farms organic coconut oil. And I've never taken any cooking classes, except for what I was taught when I was in high school. That's it. So. So where's that water at? So when you've got a family coming, you're getting all your stuff done and you have a great day. I'm sure Michael's is crazy busy right now with everybody. Their drink before Turkey Day. That was always a fun thing to catch up with people that you hadn't seen in a while. And I am constantly cutting off the bad spots on. It's just the way I've always been. Totally looks like a heart. We'll keep that right here while we're cooking. This is actually, see, I love this. I just clear it away. Oh, more stalks. Just because there's one bad spot doesn't mean the rest of it's bad. Just cut off the bad. Keep the rest. And I've always cooked like this. And I always make sure I scrape everything with the back side of the knife, not to dull my knives. It's amazing how many people do it the other way. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, but that's just what I do because I believe it does dull the knives. I mean, every time you chop, it dulls the blade, so you have to resharpen it. So I just don't understand why you'd want to scrape it with the sharp side. You don't need to. The back side's nice and smooth, and it actually slides better, at least from what I've seen. Same thing with the onion. Chop this end off. Plant it in the garden. figure you can never have enough onions in anything. Sometimes I add multiple onions. And I use wooden spoons for everything. They're actually bamboo spoons. They're my favorite to cook with. Always have been, always will be. It's really been a challenge getting used to this kitchen because at Green Acres I had so much room to spread my wings. So I definitely do miss that big time about Green Acres, something fierce, because it was the space that I had. That kitchen was a dream kitchen. Didn't care for the color of the walls, but it was a dream kitchen, truly. And I know those kids are enjoying that house tenfold. Tenfold. So... well, this is, ooh, now my eyes are starting to water and I was going to do my devotion. I wondered if they were going to, because I could, the juices were just squirting out of that onion. So, wow, my eyes. So, let's cut up the bread. And this little guy went bad, so we're going to cut his end off. And discard the rest in my compost container. But that's still can flourish. Okay. This is for my next project with my... there's the other onion from last night. Okay, here's my sourdough bread. Yeah, you can see me from there. So I'm going to cut it into cubes in the meantime, because it's just going to let it dry out that much faster. Another Pampered Chef tool. Love this knife. Love this. It's heavy. It's the bomb. I love their knives. Let's do this smaller. That's too big in the roll. This one wants to get away, so let's just throw it in the bucket there. Oh, I'm gonna get my broth going while I'm thinking about it. So I have this really cool, it's called a warm zone on this oven. We had gas at Green Acres, so I didn't have that feature, so it's really cool. I use L.B. Jamieson's soup base. Dr. and Mrs. Papadopoulos always use this, and I tried it once and was sold. But she loved to cook as well, so it's crazy how much I've learned from other people, staying in their houses, you know, just trying different things that I wouldn't have normally tried. Looks like something going on with that lid. Or that bottom, it doesn't want to sit straight. all my dishes last night, so this is perfect. Oh, my lemon. It's like a little lemon from earlier came off. The seed is floating around in there. Okay. Oh, now it's starting to sizzle up. We don't make this right now. And if you haven't seen, I have not put any spices in this yet. Because food, organic food, has so much flavor in itself, you barely need spices. You taste the actual flavors of the food. That's what I adore. It's truly amazing. So, broth. Okay, so you need it says to use a full teaspoon per cup, and I'm going to use a half a teaspoon to lower the sodium in it for now, unless I feel like it needs to have some more once I taste it. And it's going to heat up right there because it's on a little burner, little warm zone, so we'll get it rather than using the microwave. That's what I love about that. So in the morning while I'm getting the girls ready for breakfast, if I want something that's warmed up, I just put it on a plate and set it there, and it's warming up while I'm fixing their breakfast, and then my breakfast is ready, or vice versa. Sometimes I make them wait because they get quite demanding, and they need to understand who rules the roost here. It's not them, it would be me. So, you gotta keep order in your household. LaTanya taught me that back during Lent. So, yeah, I'm just going to put these in there too. Because you can't have too many of parsley left over. Put some parsley in. Fresh parsley is always good in everything. Oops, wrong one. And I got Italian parsley because, you know, really, what other parsley would you want? Oh, this is going to be good. is the one thing I dislike about this countertops. They need to be out a little so you have a ledge so you can get stuff swept off of it. So this cutting board that I fell in love with at Bell's or Beal's, whatever you want to call it, is the bomb because it's totally try to get my broth to, there we go, I can see a little bit more. Still can't see this though. Oops. There we go. I still can't see my broth. So we're going to put the falafel in. Hopefully Jason likes this. It just sounded like a good idea to put in because it's got lots of spices in it. And it's so healthy. They're so good for you, chickpeas. So why not put them in your dressing? And it's greeny. It almost looks like the that stuffing that you buy is what it reminds me of, that you would mix up, with like Pepperidge Farm or something. And I've never cooked with this before. I've never used sourdough bread for my dressing, nothing, so I'm trying it all from scratch. And I've gotten used to not cooking with a lot of spices because my body, the first round of remedies, I was allergic. So totally, I started getting used to not using them at all. So I'm not liking the way these are looking, so they're coming out. Just not. And I'm not doing them until they're completely pulverized and still got crunch to them. I'll sprinkle some of those on top. It's really pretty. I'm super excited.
My pants out, and I'm so short. Ooh.
I'll put it in my Pampered Chef stone. I'll be right back. Ready, willing, and able. Trying to get this to since the burner's still warm, let's just speeded up the process so we can see if it's yeah, that's plenty salty enough. Good grief. Holy crap. So I'm not sure I'm going to need 2 cups, but we'll see. I might need more than 2 cups. It smells really good. Really, really good. So, taste it. See if it needs anything else before I put the eggs in it. Taste it again. Yeah, I think that's delicious. Wow. These were the coolest eggs I had, and Jason picked me up because I told him I wanted organic eggs. It's ethical eggs. It's really cool. It's got their story inside of it. And it says the vital times. I love that. So we're going to use the same container that we did those. And we're going to put 3 eggs in because it doesn't matter what color you are in a world. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. Just like these eggs. Look, they're 3 different colors and they're all in unison. They're going to be beautiful in a symphony in this dressing. Don't forget that. Very sad. Very sad. So I think I need... I'll put them back now. And I always crack them one at a time because I've had rotten eggs. And then I've used them. It's in my compost. So that if you get a bad egg, you don't throw it on to your other eggs that are bad. That's just a tip from me that I've done my whole life. And I always crack them because you can get a bad egg and you don't want to throw away your whole everything. That would be very upsetting. After I did all that. I do have to say, having the kitchen this close together with the sink right there, it does make life a little easier. So there are, but even in the kitchen, the big kitchen, I mean, it was nice. So of course 3 eggs. Because everything happens in 3s. Just rinsing off this. Okay. And again, I will coat my pan in coconut oil too. Oh, this is going to be amazing. I mean, it already tastes amazing, so. So it's the first time I've ever made dressing without poultry seasoning. So I'll be anxious to find out what seasoning they put in the falafels. Check with them at the market on Saturday at the Boondocks. I started using coconut oil when I saw the health benefits that it had. So I was like, really? Yeah, I need to put that in everything. And it like if I do a little sandwich that I crisp up, one of the chef's sandwiches, and I just cook it on a pan, I crisp it up with coconut oil. That's what I cook it in instead of butter. And it gives it a really crispy crunch. It is like super duper fun. Oh, this is really pretty. Okay, so let's cut these up and put them on top. But look how pretty it is already. It's got really pretty color and everything, so I'm really tickled with it. These over here. My bolt rinse is here. Because again, it's purified water. So. 3 more onions for the garden. You can never have too many onions. That's the way I look at it. Hopefully soon, with all the onions I've got coming up, I won't have to buy them for a while for myself. That'll be awesome. We're going to put some parsley on here. Because let's just face it, it's pretty. Okay, so we're going to let that rest. And there we go. That's what it looks like now. So we'll see what it looks like, the finished product. So move that aside. Okay. So now, the next The next project is I gotta get my double boiler ready to make my grandmother's cranberry salad. But first, let's clean up our workspace because I made a mess. I know, shocking. It feels so good to be able to be back in the kitchen. You don't even understand. After everything I went through and down so sick for so long, I've always enjoyed cooking. It's been therapy for me my whole life. And when you grow up with that, you continue to do it in your adulthood and okay, now let's get started on this. Let's make sure that's enough water for the double boiler. So now we're working on my grandmother's cranberry salad recipe. Again, that might be too much water. Yep, that's perfect. Yep, okay. So, get that boiling. Put some coconut oil in there, which I've never done, but it sticks, so we definitely need to put a little coconut oil in, just to line it so it doesn't stick. So at this point, what I do then, while that's boiling, I get everything ready that's going to go in here. That way I don't have to run around the kitchen because the process happens so fast. And you need a babysitter. Or the eggs cook too fast. And you don't want that happening. So it's important that you don't. Okay, so we need fresh lemon juice. And I'm going to use my smaller cutting board so it doesn't taste like parsley. Because we need some fresh squeezed lemon juice for this. And these are great. This is not Pampered Chef, but they do sell one. That was my original one that I ever had that I loved. I feel like I'm doing a advertisement for Pampered Chef, but let's just face it. I love their products. Janice is always trying to get me to trade up when they have new ones come out, but there's nothing wrong with my old ones, so why would I want to trade them? Not when they break, sure. So, okay, let's see here. Where's my recipe? It's not boiling yet, so gotta count out my marshmallows. My hands definitely need to dry. So 12. And I'm pretty sure with these, you need to have air in the container, a little bit. Because when I squeeze all the air out, My marshmallows get like jacked up, so I don't know if yours do too, but I'm gonna try this theory and see if this does not work, but there's still some air in here. And of course, what does Natalie use for bag clips? Binder clips. They're the bomb. They work better than anything you've ever seen, and they're dirt cheap. Ta-da! So we're done with the marshmallows. Okay. I've got my eggs. Oh, 2 eggs. Let me put those out. Crazy too, I put a note on my door, my refrigerator, when my handyman comes, that we need to change out we need the door to go the opposite direction, period. Because I like doors that open to the right, but when your kitchen is on the right, do you know how hard it is to get in your kitchen? I need it to open this way so it's open and I can walk right in there. So that's got to be switched. I know people don't think about that, but I certainly do, because it drives me out of my mind. I think this egg is not going to make it. Oh wow, I got it out of there. That's amazing. Well, I only need 2, so let's do 1 of each. I'll put this little guy back. I thought that one was cracked, so I got one out of my new container of eggs. Okay, so 2 eggs. I'm going to need a teaspoon of sugar. Must have one. Here's a baby one. Okay, I don't think I need any more eggs. I'm doing this. Okay, so I need 1 teaspoon of sugar. Right here in front of me. Or a snake, it would have bit me. Teaspoon of sugar, we're done with that. 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice, you saw that. This is almost ready. And then the other ingredient is a container of Cool Whip, so that these will, these will melt down. well use another Pampered Chef product. These are great. I used to have a spoonula that was ginormous. It was great, but so, and it's important. Oh, oops, what am I doing? Yeah, this is what I have to do. I used a whisk before and it was not effective. So I cook it until it gets, I don't know, just you can see where it's getting warmed up. And it forms a nice, but not, you don't want to cook it like scrambled egg consistency. You want to keep it semi-liquid. So when it starts to cook like that, then you know you got to add the, because you want it to be in a liquid form. So right now it's starting to do that. So I need to remove it from the stove because it doesn't need that anymore and start throwing these in, because you got to keep mixing so you keep it liquid and not get it chunky. That's the biggest thing with this recipe. That's a lot of stirring, but it's important because you want it to pour in to the cranberry salad. And it is, I know I'm not supposed to have sugar, but it's a tradition. And I'm never not going to have this. My grandmother made it every year for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and she always made it for the holidays. And it was my favorite. And I even like dipping my turkey in it because it's sweet, and it's the savory, salty sweet kind of thing. Well, not salty, but with the turkey, the salty with the sweet. That's where I'm going with that anyway. I don't always care for the salty sweet, the savory. There was something years ago it stirred that everybody went crazy for, and there was just something just not for my taste buds, and everybody raved about it, and I was like, well, I wish I liked it like you guys. It wasn't a symphony in my yap like it was with everybody else's, but that's what's so great about people's flavors and tastes. That's what makes chefs so cool, because their taste buds are different, and what they come up with and they create, and their creativity with their taste buds forms a symphony to them, and then they share it with the rest of the world. It's a pretty cool concept if you think about it. So you can see how it's getting a nice consistency. This is when I'd like a camera over me so you could see what I'm doing, but it's been fun doing videos. It's very therapeutic. It's informational. Especially since I turned my home into a think tank for La Casa Tesoro del Cielo, Heaven's Treasure, because I am handicapped and I'm learning in this house, and I've learned like crazy things ever since I arrived, and my creativity is on steroids because I'm free from stress. So why not start a business teaching others how what you can do even when your brain gets damaged by blood clots. Last night I had a really interesting event happen. We had to pick up more sandwiches that the chef had to have transported in from West Palm. And on the way back, it was weird. Well, actually, it was almost like the whole night was like a deja vu from my youth. And a few days earlier, I had felt some grit in my mouth, and there was a piece of coral, like my rocks that are outside. And it just didn't make any sense to me. Why on earth would there be coral in my mouth? I didn't eat it. So where did it come from? Weirdest feeling ever. And then it was almost like everything I was saying I had said before. I had been here, been in that particular moment before. It was just wild, but I remember when I was younger hitting my head. So I'm going to try to find those records to see if I can see what is in those records. To see if that doesn't help with my figuring out how this started in my head. If it had been there when it started festering when I was little and it was just mild, or I don't know. But I figure there's a reason why I had that epiphany last night. But, you know, when I'm on his time schedule, it's kind of funny how you just go with it, and you try to research and understand everything he's trying to send you in messages. Baby Boom was one of my favorite movies. Diane Keaton in the corporate world, and she totally was anti-baby. I can relate. That's how I was. I was all about dogs and not about babies, because I had married to my profession being a tax collector. That's what I did for a living. I was a bean counter. So, oh, this is beautiful. It's so pretty. I got almost all the I do it until it's completely creamy smooth. And see, with the double boiler, you can't burn it. That's the beauty of the double boiler gig. And it's all about being patient. You don't want to rush it. You gotta just take your time. Learned that from my grandma too. Patience is a virtue. On that warm burner over there, so we're gonna that over there. And then you just fold it in. And this recipe that I just read the ingredients for, I'll put it in, but Trinity Lutheran in Elkhart is putting out their first cookbook, and I have 3 recipes that I submitted. I had so many more, but, well, you know. So now what I usually do with this water is pour it back in the pan so it's not all gross, because it does get it sticky. But it doesn't look near as sticky as it normally does. So that's a good thing. So that's wonderful. So it's gonna be interesting to see what that coconut oil did by lining the pan with it. So fold this in. Now we fold in Cool Whip. So what I like about this is you can have it for breakfast, you can have it as a salad, you can have it as a dessert. nice and peaceful today. It's fantastic. That's what it's like here. It's so quiet because you don't hear the outside and the inside. It's just, talk about being, it's like being in a library almost, because you just hear the clock ticking. And then I've been, any plastic containers I rinse out and save for my art studio so I don't have to buy containers for my art studio. Talk about saving money. I mean, there's some nice containers that they send you home for carry out. I'm like, I can use those in my art studio. Even the ones that are, had to dip it in a little bit of the good stuff. Piece of celery fell out. Oh, it's so good. If anybody, Paul Thomas loved this. I would love to be able to ship some of this home to him. He loved it, loved it, loved it. I always took it down to him and Betty. I certainly do miss them as neighbors. Oh boy, do I. Yum, yum, yum. Every time I eat this, it reminds me of my grandmother. And it's so good. Okay, so what she did teach me, waste not, want not, right? Sorry, I'm such a little kid these days. So she always taught me to wipe it down after. Because it's all about presentation, and you wet it, and that would be with purified water, because there's toxins in our drinking water, unless you're going to boil the hell out of it. Learned that from Father Ted, and he tells people about, they say, you know, is it hard to make holy water? He said, no, put it on a pot of stove and burn the hell right out of it. And he's right. That's all you gotta do to get the chemicals out of it. This is, normally I use this other bowl, but, because it has a lid, but this is such a pretty bowl, so that's why I'm using it. Even though it doesn't come with a lid. Because it looks really pretty in the refrigerator too. Okay. I'm having one bite. Even though I licked the spoon. Let's just go right down the middle. Yum, yum. Not sure why I have 3 pieces of bread that I saved and didn't put in the dressing, but there's a reason for it, and I took them out of the middle. It'll be presented to me, so that's it on the cranberry salad. Wrap that up. Keep it fresh. Okay, so I'm going to take you. I was going to stand here and do the devotion, but it just kind of licked along, so see where the girls are. Well, I got one in here. We'll go in here with Harley. Well, since this is already over an hour, didn't even realize it was going to take that long. I think what I'm going to do is stop this and do the devotion and then come back. So, see you in just a few. Oops, I keep wanting to do touch on this and it's not touch.